Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and this preview is being brought to you by ProfessorBlackmore.com, where our goal is to empower results through real productivity. And this week, I'll be previewing my OneNote pre-made deposition notebook template and my OneNote Deposition Notebook course, wherein I teach you how to make your own OneNote Deposition Notebook. And so I'm just going to go right over to the Deposition Notebook template so that you can take a quick look. Okay, so here we are in the Deposition Notebook template, and you start off with your index here, which I have provided links to every section and page in the Deposition Notebook. So you can have quick access to each one of these sections just by clicking on this link. So if you click on this link here for tab 10, it'll take you straight away to the Deposition Bank, which I will talk to you a little bit more about later. And so here the tab 1 section has all of your event, your deposition event or calendar information. And so whatever calendar details will go here in tab 1. If you may need to drive to a location, then you can have your driving directions here, your hotel reservations, and your transportation information, and whatever other miscellaneous deposition event information that you may have can go here in tab 1E. And then here in tab 2 is where you will have your court reporter confirmation information. Then in tab 3 is where you will have your deposition notice information. You know, like your deposition notice, any request for production of documents, or any subpoena of any third party witnesses that you may have can go here in this section. And then in tab 4 is where you will put your actual questions that you will want to ask at the deposition. You will construct that here in this particular section. Then in tab 5 is where you may want to put any deposition exhibits that you would want to attach to the deposition. Tab 6 will be for any reference file information from your office file that you may want to reference during the deposition. So you can put that here in your section 6. And then tab 7 is for any photographs or photograph copies that you want to make in the event that you are at a location that is not your office and you don't have access to a copy machine. I'm going to show you this feature later, but you can use your cell phone or your iPad or whatever you have to make copies of exhibits from opposing counsel or from the witness that you don't already have or that have not already been provided to you in the discovery process. You can make a quick copy of that photograph or document or whatever it may be at the time of the deposition so that you can take that back to your office and have it for your reference during the time that the court reporter is compiling the final transcript of the deposition. And then for your tab 8 is where you will have any notes that you want to take, any cross-examination notes that you may want to take during the deposition, or even a deposition summary, some notes that you may want to take immediately after the deposition to refresh your memory when you are ready to finalize your deposition summary. Then here in tab 9 is where you will keep all of your expense information that may be associated with this deposition. And then here in tab 10 is where you will find a bank of information. This is information or reference information that I include in all of the OneNote trial notebooks that I construct. And so here are just a few deposition related sections that will be handy to use when you are preparing for your deposition. Now, here is information for third-party witnesses. So this will be instructions on what to do to construct the various parts of the trial notebook, but there is also some very useful information in here that will help you to pull together your deposition summary and some questions that you may ask to various types of witnesses. All of that information is here, right here in your notebook. And I'm going to talk to you more about this throughout this week as I preview my OneNote pre-made deposition notebook template. And to facilitate a more real-life instruction modality, I will be using my favorite and familiar case to many of you who have taken some of my prior MCLE or other online attorney law-related courses, the case of Winters v. Ramirez, which is an automobile, pedestrian, bicycle accident case. And so today, I want to preview the opening statements of the trial so you'll have a better idea of the facts leading into the construction of our OneNote deposition notebook activities. Now, doesn't this all sound very exciting? Well, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence in this case will show that on Friday, March 3rd of this year, the defendant left work at 6:15 p.m. He was in a hurry because he was running half an hour late for a date with his girlfriend. Shortly after getting into his car, the defendant called his girlfriend to let her know that he would be late. While on the phone, he took his eyes off the road to look at the construction of a building he designed. It was at this moment that he came screeching around a turn, and the plaintiff, Suzanne Winters, was in his path. He slammed on his brakes. His skid marks support that he may have been driving as fast as 32 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. The impact of his car was so great that it threw Ms. Winters off her bike. She sprained her wrist and suffered multiple abrasions. Her bike was damaged beyond repair. Suzanne had been riding her bike home from work as she used to on most days. She came to a stop sign where she stopped, checked both ways for traffic, and started to cross. It was then that she was struck by the defendant's car and thrown to the ground. The evidence will show that the defendant was solely responsible for this accident. He was speeding. He was not paying attention to the road, and his negligence injured my client and destroyed her new bicycle. At the end of this trial, I will ask you to find the defendant responsible for my client's damages, which include her medical bills and the cost of replacing her bike. I will ask you to make the defendant pay for the injustice that has resulted from his negligence. Thank you.
Counsel for the defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My client is the defendant, Mr. Mario Ramirez, and I will be presenting you with evidence that proves that he did not cause the accident that has just been described to you. In fact, the evidence will show that the plaintiff was truly at fault in this case. The evidence will show that the plaintiff rode her bicycle through a stop sign and into the path of the defendant's car. It was getting dark out. Ms. Winters was riding her bike without a light, reflectors, or reflective clothing. She was in a hurry, and when she came to the stop sign, she never took her feet off the pedals. She darted out into the intersection, and Mr. Ramirez simply couldn't see her until it was too late. Mr. Ramirez didn't have a stop sign at that intersection. He didn't have a stoplight either. In short, the evidence will show that he had no reason to expect that someone might suddenly dart out in front of him. At the end of this trial, you will have an opportunity to deliver a verdict that makes the plaintiff take responsibility for her mistakes. I intend to provide you with the evidence to do just that. Thank you.
Now, when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about the number one feature of my OneNote Deposition Notebook, which is the ability to insert your deposition calendar information and other deposition event information right in your notebook. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed these tips, I ask that you please like this video by giving me a thumbs up, and please share this video with your family and friends. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you won't miss any of my tips. And please follow me on Instagram. And if you'd like to purchase one of my OneNote Deposition Notebook templates, or if you'd like to purchase my full Deposition Notebook course so that you can learn how to make your own OneNote Deposition Notebook, please visit me on my website at ProfessorBlackmore.com.